the implications that our ancestral traumas have permeate every area of our life. There are what are called trauma bonds and trauma entanglements, feature terms. And it is the web of trauma that keeps us together, especially in family dynamics. My very first ayahuasca ceremony was several years ago, and in that ceremony it was very intense, very heavy. And I saw a giant spider, a giant translucent spider, so I knew it wasn't a real spider. It was clearly a spider, and it was crawling on the walls. And I looked to see if anybody else saw it, during the results, boobies, and close to stupid, and it had a big impact on him. So I talked to my friend after that, and was very familiar with ayahuasca. She's a really smart person, therapist, said that on her podcast twice. She told me that what was happening, and she knows my family situation, family kind of splinter off because of what I'm about to tell you. She told me that was showing me the web of trauma and trauma entanglements and how it was manifesting in my family. Has anybody had or known people who are kind of go on this freedom path and causes some ripples in family?
Yeah.
Okay, just as much as the previous question. Yeah, so there's a biological reason for that, and I learned a lot of this from her. This is pretty much now the main focus of my documentary, the next book I'm writing, because it is a prevalent issue, right? Very prevalent. But there's an explanation, there is a biological basis for it, and there's a solution as well. And the biological basis, as she explained, is that we carry a sort of inherited family template deep in our DNA, designed specifically to keep the tribe together at all costs. Because throughout our existence, we needed tribe. You wouldn't make it very far on your own. Traditionally and historically, if one person leaves the tribe, they die. Either out alone in nature, or the tribe turns on them and kills them because now they're a threat. This is at the deepest core of our survival mechanism. It is the same way today, which is why there are issues. The way we see other people is we can never know somebody 100% of who they are. We cannot get into their head. What we do subconsciously is we observe them and we write a narrative about who they are, which is why families are the most difficult, because they have the longest running narrative. So when you change drastically, it messes up the narrative. It breaks the narrative, and then that's that threat. Subconsciously, you're not aware of this. If that's a threat, and then they start alienate, they start to attack, they start to do all these things, right? And so that's what's happening, especially when it gets into messy situations where, trying to discredit you and things like that. It's that same biology happening. If it was 1,000 years ago, then the tribe would just trail on them and kill them. You can't do that, there's loss in heart. But trying to discredit is a way of trying to kill their way of survival during these little chits. So it manifests just in different ways. It was a reality, society lost it. And so that's why. That's why these things happen and found. So it's so imperative to go into the depths of our ancestry and to heal these things. And the good news about that, though, is it is like a web. Like everybody's in the web of trauma, and that's what keeps you together. And it's extremely difficult to escape it, as someone said that found out. Extremely difficult. But when one person does escape the web of trauma, it disrupts the web, just like physical analogy, just a spider web. The web will start moving if there's movement. And then it starts shuffling things. And because you always are connected, the rest will eventually be able to free themselves as well. It's just generation, that into many generations. But it takes one person to start it. That's why we are known as the cycle breakers, the black sheep. Why the cycle breakers are so important, so important. And actually, I have a really beautiful poem I'm going to read by Bert Hellinger, the creator of Family Constellations. The so-called black sheep of the family are in fact hunters born of paths of liberation into the family tree. The members of a tree who do not conform to the norms or traditions of a family system. Those who since childhood have constantly sought to revolutionize beliefs go against the paths marked by family traditions. Those criticized, judged, and even rejected. These family members are usually called to free the tree of repetitive stories that frustrate entire generations. The black sheep, those who do not adapt, those who cry rebelliously, play a basic role within each family system. They unfold, repair, pick up, and create new branches in the family tree. Thanks to these members, trees renew their roots. Its rebellion is fertile soil. Its madness is water that nourishes. Its stubbornness is new air. Its passion is fire that reignites the light in the heart of the ancestors. Uncountable repressed desires, unfulfilled dreams, frustrated talents of our ancestors are manifested in the rebelliousness of this black sheep seeking fulfillment. The genealogical tree, by inertia, will want to continue to maintain the castrated and the toxic course of its trunk, which makes the task of our sheep difficult and conflicted work. However, who would bring new flowers to our tree if it were not for them? Who would create new branches? Without them, the unfulfilled dreams of those who supported you generations ago would die buried beneath the elements. Let no one cause you to doubt. Take care of your rarity as in its precious found in the tree. You are the dream of all your ancestors. That's the